The September 27th game against Akron will kick off at 1:30. No game for the Pirates. It's their final off day of the season. With updates every 20 minutes, I'm Eric Hagman on the home of the Pirates in Pitt, KDKA-FM.
Pittsburgh's home station. Sports all the time. 93.7.
Starkey and Muller.
The Starkey and Muller Show is brought to you by the all-new North Hills Toyota Scion. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Visit North Hills Toyota today and expect a great deal.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
Starkey and Muller, Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. 93.7 The Fan is your home for Monday Night Football on Westwood One all season long. Join Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner tonight at 7:45 p.m. as the Colts grapple with the Eagles. Turn up the sound and get your game on right here on 93.7 The Fan. We go out to the hotline right now where Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus awaits. Steve, good to talk to you again. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me back, guys.
It's our pleasure here, and I believe you were on with us once before, and you said that in your estimation and the way your site measures teams and players and personnel, the Steelers didn't have a single elite player, I believe, if not on the whole team, at the very least on defense. Have you seen anything to sway that opinion the first 2 weeks of the season?
Nope, nothing to sway it. It's been a rough first couple of weeks, I think, for the Steelers. Most of the team is grading in the negative in the ugly red numbers so far. And coming into the season, we didn't think that the Steelers had a great roster top to bottom. I thought that the one thing that they'd have that would give them a chance is having a guy like Roethlisberger back there to kind of make up for some of those deficiencies. But so far, I think the defense has really let them down.
In what area in particular on that defense are you guys seeing the worst performance? Front three, linebackers, secondary? I know it's been bad all around, but what's been maybe the one that stands out as the worst group?
Yeah, I mean, it's rough all around, but I think that the front three, the defensive line is one that just really sticks out. I had pretty high expectations for Cameron Hayward coming into the season. I thought that he'd be a little bit more consistent. He was really blowing up the ball a ton against Baltimore, just at both defensive ends, really, or all of the defensive ends against Baltimore in particular. Hayward, Cam Thomas, Brett Kiesel. Thomas is a guy who I thought would be had a chance to be a good addition coming from San Diego, and just hasn't lived up to it yet. He's a guy, he'll flash for a play or two, and then you just see him get moved as well, and just kind of lacks the consistency to this point. So just a little disappointed in the front three and really the whole front seven to this point.
Didn't Cam Thomas, though, Steve, grade out as maybe one of the worst defensive linemen in football by your guys' system last year?
I don't think he was among the worst. He was kind of middle of the pack. He played a little bit of a nose tackle and defensive end role with San Diego, but some of the other Chargers defensive linemen, Kendall Reyes and Corey Leggett, both ranked pretty low. The Chargers had a pretty rough defensive line last year, and Thomas was a little bit up and down with them.
Talk a little about your grading system for linebackers and how Jarvis Jones and Jason Worlds have graded out so far.
Well, we got them both in the negative, and it's a little different. Jones and Worlds will be graded a lot differently than guys like Timmons and Shazier. Jones and Worlds obviously more of those outside pass rushing outside linebacker types. Worlds has 3 pressures and Jones has 3 pressures on the entire season so far, 1 sack and 2 hurries each. And I think when you're looking at that, when you're looking at production from your edge rushers, you're looking for something a little bit more than that. So both of them are slightly negative as far as pass rushing goes. Jarvis Jones has always impressed me as a run stopper. I think he's better against the run than people give him credit for. But if he's going to live up to that first-round hype, he really needs to do a much better job getting after the quarterback. He just really hasn't done it to this point.
Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus, our guest here on 93.7 The Fan. I wanted to turn the focus briefly to the rest of this division. Is it clear in the way you guys analyze teams and players that the Bengals are the class of the AFC North right now?
Yeah, I think that was our perception coming in, and I don't think much has changed. I always use the caveat that the quarterback trumps a lot of things, but and it's one of the things that made the North one of the more fascinating divisions. I think you could look at the Bengals roster and say it's the best one. It's the best roster when you compare them to the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. But you never really know what you're going to get from Andy Dalton. But if they continue to manage manage Dalton, put him in good position to succeed. I do think the Bengals will continue to be the favorite in the division.
Steve, we just were talking before we had you on here about the idea that maybe the Browns end up finishing ahead of the Steelers, that the Steelers could possibly end up in last place in this division. What's your read on Cleveland so far at 1-1 and very close to being 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, it's been exciting at least. Played a couple games, both against Pittsburgh and then yesterday's comeback against New Orleans. So I think coming into the season, we looked at Cleveland as a team that would just be difficult every single week. You know, the record might reflect it, and I feel like this has kind of been the Browns' MO the last few years. You know, they'll play a lot of teams tough and not have a whole lot of wins to show for it. So I think at the very least, that's where they'll be. Again, I go back to the quarterback situation. You know, Hoyer's looked good at times, but I still, when you're comparing a team like the Browns and a team like the Steelers, I'll take the team with the quarterback. I think there'll be too many moments during the season where Roethlisberger will come through more than Hoyer. And so I think when it comes down to it, I still think the Steelers will be a better team. But, yeah, I mean, the Browns are going to be a tough team to play throughout the entire season.
I want to get one more Steelers question in before we let you go, Steve. How about offensive line-wise? Who has graded out the best and worst so far this season on the Steelers line?
So far, you know, it's tough to look at grades across positions, but the two guys with positive grades are Kelvin Beachum and Marquise Pouncey. So, you know, Beacham's kind of been quiet, just quietly gone about his business, and that's usually a good thing for an offensive tackle. He's only given up 2 hurries so far in 2 games and 84 dropbacks. So pretty good start for him. And then Pouncey, a guy that, you know, we've been up and down on. I think he's pretty much been the guy that we've said that he's been, and that's a pretty good pass protector and, you know, kind of up and down in the running game.
I'm going to take a wild guess that Marcus Gilbert has graded out the worst.
He's actually just below David DeCastro, believe it or not. And I know Gilbert's given up 4 sacks, and those are the things that really stand out. And the sacks have been pretty bad. He's given up 4 sacks and 2 hurries on those 84 dropbacks. But DeCastro's actually been pretty disappointing in the running game. You know, he came in with that mauling reputation, and I thought he did a really good job last year. But you know, he really struggled, especially against the Ravens. You could see 2 back-to-back plays in the game. Timmy Jernigan of the Ravens and Pernell McPhee just kind of dominated him at the line of scrimmage, and that's just been the Castro to this point through the 2 games. So it's still early on, but yeah, Beachum and Pouncey are the 2 positives, and the other 3 have been in the negative so far.
Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus. Appreciate the time and the analysis. We'll talk to you again soon, Steve. Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
That's interesting. Beachum has kind of quietly been a positive on the season so far. Did a good job against Suggs, and you heard it right there, only 2 hurries he's allowed.
And then there's the rest of the offensive line.
And there's the other guy on the other side.
Yeah, not so good. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll be right back into the Adrian Peterson story. An unbelievable quote that we'll have for you again from Rick Spielman. Gutless quote was the way Joe described it earlier in the show about the Adrian Peterson situation. And we'll continue to hear from you guys on your reaction to this. Peterson, Greg Hardy, Ray McDonald in San Francisco. All of these guys expected to play this upcoming week. And there's a lot of reasons to suggest that maybe that's a very, very bad idea. Right now, I want to remind you guys that the Ramon Foster Show, first Ramon Foster Show of the season from Nakama on the South Side, starts at 6 o'clock, hosted by Colin Dunlap right here on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. So make sure you listen in right after our show ends for the Ramon Foster Show live from Nakama. Quick check of the forecast. KDKA Weather Center, 66, some sun peeking through right now in Greentree, 56 for an overnight low, and showers are likely. Clouds giving way to sun tomorrow and a high of 68 degrees. Fan weather is brought to you by Sun Chevy in McMurray. Cars, trucks, SUVs, or high performance, Sun Chevy's got it at the guaranteed best price. Visit sunchevy.com. We'll talk a lot more Adrian Peterson at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We do have one little bit of news or something that took place this weekend that bears mentioning at 4:55. Tell you what that is next. Starkey and Muller on The Fan.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Coming up, we'll give you this hour's code word in the CBS Radio's Fall National Contest, Cash Code. Call *WIN on your cell phone. That's *946. Or enter online at 937thefan.com by 5:20 Eastern Time. Message and data rates apply. We'll call you if you're randomly selected. Know the code word, and you could win $1,000. I don't believe it. Cash Code. Cash Code. On Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. 93.7 The Fan. The home of 84 Lumber. Live from the Lexus of North Hills Traffic Center.
Watch out for an accident on the Parkway West outbound. This is off to the right shoulder. It's in the vicinity of the Parkway Center exit ramp. Traffic is backed up from there out to Roslyn Farms. And if you're going to be traveling 28 outbound, that slows from right around the Vitz Bridge overpass onto the 31st Street Bridge, then again from Millville out to Etna because of an earlier disabled vehicle. From the Lexus of North Hills Traffic Center, I'm Jimmy Miller from KDKA on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
EasyToUse.com. Local search that works in print, online, and on the go with our mobile app. Contact your local sales rep today at 866-255-1930.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Hey, guess what? We've invented a new holiday, and we think you're gonna like it. It's 93.7 The Fan's Fan Fest. Or, if you prefer,
The halfway to St. Patrick's Day broadcast party, along with lots of green beer, big roast for dinner, and fireball shots all day long.
along with a silent auction for sports memorabilia, concert tickets, and more. And Jurgle. These all go down Wednesday, September 17th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Or until we fall over.
93.7 The Fan Fan Fest, the halfway to St. Patrick's Day broadcast party from Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Pittsburgh's hometown sports station.
The Miller Lite Happy Hour is starting now in Smokin' Joe Saloon in the South Side with half off their entire food menu. Great craft beer specials and, as always, a Miller Lite pitcher, 4 Fireball shots for just $19.95 all day, every day. Smokin' Joe Saloon, always tapping something new.
Hello, sports fans. Mike Lang here for the all-new North Hills Toyota Scion. And we really mean all new. Over 400 new 2014 Toyotas in stock need to be moved for new facility construction now underway. Every new Toyota in stock is marked with construction reduction pricing, with leases starting as low as $89 a month on new 2014 RAV4 LE all-wheel drives. Or how about a new 2014 Camry LE? Only $99 a month. Receive up to $3,000 additional savings with North Hills Loyalty Advantage. Free with every new and used vehicle purchase. What an opportunity. Help us clear the lot with incredible construction reduction pricing. When North Hills Toyota extends a challenge, you save more. Across from the Ross Park Mall, online at northhillstoyota.com or call 1-877. Stock numbers T141456 and T141455. 12,000 miles per year plus taxes and tags. $39.95 cash or trade. Do it signing, no security deposit. $131 dealer fees. Ends 9/30/14.
I don't just see employees here. I see people with husbands and wives and children. They don't work for me. They work for their families. So when you ask them what they want in a health plan, their answer is simple. They want to know they can get the best care possible and that they can afford it. So that's exactly what we give them. Because when they're healthy and happy, so are we.
The top-ranked doctors and hospitals your employees deserve. UPMC Health Plan.
Super Tuesday at Joseph A. Bank. Almost everything in the store is buy one, get 2 free. Suits, sport coats, dress shirts, ties, pants, sports shirts, polos, and more. Buy one item at regular price. Get 2 more of equal or lesser value free. Incredible savings on new fall styles and patterns in store now. It's the Joseph A. Bank Super Tuesday sale. Office wear, casual wear, sportswear, and accessories are all buy one, get any other 2 free. That's 3 for the price of 1.
So you can focus your own energy on running your business. So even if you can't control a software program, come on. Oh, man. You have control of your business's energy use. Switch to the Back to Business plan from Direct Energy Business at directenergy.com/getcontrol or call 1-855-4DEB-NEST. With your energy costs under control, you can get back to business. Valid for commercial businesses only. Terms and conditions apply. For more info, visit directenergy.com/getcontrol.
TV's #1 drama, NCIS, is back.
Nice.
Get ready for the season premiere.
I think I'm gonna like this.
CBS Tuesday, September 23rd.
Broadcasting from the Iron City Beer Studios. KDKA, One Pittsburgh. Listen to us on your smartphone by downloading the radio.com app now at iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Starkey and Muller, Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Got an Eric Haggard sports update momentarily. There was a lightning delay. It was a sparse crowd, although the announced attendance was over 10,000, which was a flat-out lie for FIU and Pitt. Maybe the most unusual thing happened, though, back at the Fox Sports 1 Command Center, where Dave Wanstedt was sitting as an analyst alongside a few other gentlemen. And this is something that Dave Wanstedt had to say. I believe it was either during halftime or during the, it was during halftime, so it wasn't even during a delay and they were trying to fill time. This was Dave Wanstedt on Paul Chryst being maybe the right guy for Pitt.
I like the composure that Paul Chryst kept with his football team. And when you look at the big picture, he's the guy for this job to bring him back to respectability. If when you look at his background, his dad was a coach, his brothers, under Norv Turner, under Barry Alvarez, he's got a good pedigree, and he's a good person. I mean, you'd love to have your son go and be coached by Paul Chryst. He's got one big obstacle. The athletic director of Pitt's got to get on the same page with Paul and give him the support. Let Paul run his program, and they will get back contending for conference championships like they were 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow, man. What does he mean? By the way, the key word there is competing for conference championships in the wretched old Big East in its final forms. Not winning them, but competing them for them, Dave says. What did he mean, first of all? When he says he's got to get on the same page, that would indicate that they're not on the same page. Does he have some type of information we don't know about?
Willing to bet that was just mostly the knife being taken, the knife being inserted right below the rib cage and then twisted.
If I'm hosting that program, don't you have to turn to Wani and say,
what do you mean by that?
You basically just said he's not on the same page and that the athletic director needs to let him run his program. Is he not letting him? What do you mean, Dave? Elaborate.
That was the most newsworthy thing that happened. Once Pitt got the lead in that game, that became the most newsworthy event of that day.
I love Wani referring to the glory days of Pitt football as 2005 to 2008. God, were they a juggernaut or what?
I like Dave Wanstedt from the few interactions I've had with him personally, but that team that lost to Cincinnati and Tony Pike twisted the knife in this fan base like no other team has in recent memory, so I'm not even going to say anymore. It's time for a sports update, powered by Bowser Nissan.
Oh, that's the power of Bowser.
Eric Hagman here, and it's more again about the two stories dominating the headlines for all the wrong reasons, Adrian Peterson, Greg Hardy.
And we found out that Adrian Peterson will play for the Vikings this Sunday after he was deactivated for yesterday's game following his arrest on a child abuse charge. General Manager Rick Spielman spoke for the Vikings today.
We are trying to do the right thing. This is a difficult path to navigate regarding the judgment of how a parent disciplines his child.
Peterson did not meet with reporters, but issued a statement saying, "I am, without a doubt, not a child abuser." For the second week in a row, the Steelers face an opponent caught up in a domestic violence case. They play at Carolina Sunday night. Panthers Pro Bowl defensive end Greg Hardy was found guilty by a judge in July of assaulting his ex-girlfriend.